was just neat to see, and I don't remember the buyer's reaction.
Okay. So good morning, Michiana, and Get Inspired, Michiana. I'm Diane Bennett with RE/MAX 100 and Inspired Homes, and I'm here with Guy Fisher of Goodwill, and we have an exciting inspired story to tell you about. Welcome.
Diane, thank you for having me this morning.
Yep, glad you could come. So welcome to Facebook Live.
Yeah,
This is
no
Facebook
kidding,
Live.
right?
And so Guy's story starts with a transaction that he had with Linda DeMel on our team. So tell us, basically, let me remind you, life-inspired stories are life was going along, and then ... God intervened, and boom, this is now an inspired story. So tell us kind of a little bit about your transaction at first.
So, and by the way, Linda's fantastic.
Yes, we think so too.
Linda and I had been working on selling a property. It was a rental property. My brother, who lives in California, and I owned it together, and we were both ready to do something different. And so we had listed the property this past spring, and we had a couple buyers show interest. We had one buyer that actually had put money down, and then for whatever reason at the last second just bailed, and they actually lost some money in the process. But our last offer that came into us, we just felt different about the offer.
Really?
And so the buyer had some concerns and some problems. There were some transitions of jobs and things that kind of got in the way. And all along, Linda said, "Do you want to just move on? Should we just do something different?" And I said, no. I for whatever reason, I want to just keep on working with this person. And so we did, and we finally got to that glorious day of closing. Yay! Everything worked its way out, and all. And as we were sitting in the closing room, we were talking a little bit about. Linda had came to one of our tours at Goodwill and had seen what we do to the breakfast, and had heard the story of a gentleman we had worked with named David.
Okay.
And his journey from prison to Goodwill, and then now out in the community working and just knocking it out of the park.
That's awesome.
And across the table, I was kind of catching the eye of the buyer, and she was engaged with this conversation, and she said, "Can you send me that video?" And so I did. And she watched it.
So you have a video of David's story.
Video of David's story.
We'll ask TJ21 if they can link that to our posting here so people can go see it.
Perfect.
Okay, great.
And she started sharing a little bit about her journey. It was similar to David's. It was a journey of having gone to prison, having had made mistakes, having come out and working to redeem herself, and just getting started and established again. And so we were just so excited, and honestly, as she was sharing this with me, I had tears in my eyes because I'm thinking,
so cool.
God, this is what I get to do every day, but it's in my work life, right? And so now here in my personal life, I'm getting to see just this same message of redemption that God's done for us.
Right.
And so, yeah, we were really excited not only to sell the house, but to know who we sold the house to, and that we were having a part in the journey of her taking those next steps forward.
That is so awesome. That's what we love about hearing these stories is when God does something miraculous, these ... moments that he's like, I mean, when Linda shared your story with us at our weekly team meeting that we have, and when she shared it, I just felt like it's just one of those that's way past coincidence. I mean, God could have had that buyer buy somebody else's house, but she bought your house. And you could talk about what Goodwill's doing and how Goodwill's getting these people from, a rough life through the programs that you guys are having. I'd love for you to tell just a little bit about the programs that Goodwill does that can help others. And maybe we can also get a link to your page or whatever, your website, so people can, see what you're doing in the community and stuff. And, I mean, when Linda shared that this buyer just fit you, I was like, wow. That's inspired. That's just inspired. That's so miraculous. I love to see God work. So do tell us a little bit about what it is that Goodwill does with some of these prison recovery people in the program. Tell us about that.
So most people know Goodwill for the stores. That's kind of the visible part of who we are, but it's not who we are, it's how we pay for what we do. Right. Our local Goodwill here in South Bend, we're Goodwill, Michiana. We are 16 counties in Indiana, from Warsaw to Chicago to Logansport.
Wow.
And then the city of Niles is part of our territory. Okay. And we're part of the bigger Goodwill family. So unlike what Facebook likes to say about Goodwill, there is no owner. That owner's not making millions upon millions of dollars. In fact, the president and CEO of our local Goodwill.
She's at Rotary with me.
At Rotary, yes.
Right.
And Debbie's story is pretty cool. Will be another great inspired story at some point in time.
Idea.
But Goodwill helps people with barriers. And so it began with the vision of a Methodist pastor well over 100 years ago, working with the congregation in Boston, trying to give things away to help people and realizing, wait a minute, people need to learn how to help themselves. A handout, not a handout, is kind of this mantra that we work with. And so we work with folks who have barriers to employment and help them enter into the workforce. And so things like soft skills, showing up to work on time, finishing up your education, and then moving into more hard skills training. Right now we're looking to purchase a virtual reality welding trainer so we can help identify who's maybe has an acumen for welding and get them into that path of being a welder. And so we're trying to move folks from that and move that needle from just getting by, struggling, to working in jobs that are life-changing and are family and community impactful. So that's what Goodwills do all around the country. I'm blessed, really am blessed to be part of what we do here in Michiana.
That's awesome. Great. Well, thank you for sharing our story.
Thank you.
Facebook, we would love for you to share more stories with us so we can put more of these encouraging things out there every Friday. So we do our life-inspired stories every Friday morning at 9:30. And feel free to message us right here and give us some more stories. Thank you for what you do.
Diane,
I really
thank you.
appreciate being here, Guy. God bless.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. So we'll just keep talking. They'll turn off
Yeah,
our mic.
absolutely.